Brianna,
And I'm Abby
and this is Blessed.
and highly medicated. So, you were telling me earlier that you made homemade pizza. You're going to make homemade pizza. What?
Ooh. Yes. So I made homemade pizza. I do my sourdough.
Hmm.
For those listeners that might not know, I do sourdough. And we should come up with a name for her for my sourdough. A
Yes.
lot of people do that.
Your
So,
starter?
yes, for the starter, a lot of people do that. So we need to think of a name for her.
Do you make the kind of sourdough? Well, I've had her sourdough, by the way. Um, and the kind that you gave me was sort of like you could make it, I guess you can make any bread into sandwich bread, but like
hmm
this was like soft and
Yes.
and I really liked it. Do you also make the like crusty hard?
hmm
I don't mean
Yeah.
hard negatively, but like
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's like chewier. It's a different experience. So I like doing a loaf of sandwich bread every
okay.
week. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but store-bought bread does not mold anymore or get stale. Like I found old bread in my cabinet in my pantry and I'm like, "Oh, I forgot I had this." And it's not expired, or it's expired, but it's still squishy and there's no mold on it. And so I'm just like, what are they putting into this stuff? So I make my own sandwich bread now every week, and it's a lot. The sandwich loaf is a lot less maintenance as than the like typical artisan-y
Oh, okay.
sourdough. Like that one is a process, but I have made those and they're really good. I do one with I mix the water in the starter with like onion soup mix or beefy onion soup mix and then mix in some cheese.
That sounds good minus the cheese. Sourdough. You put onion soup in the sourdough mix.
Yes, like Lipton onion soup or like great. It doesn't matter what brand.
I am a big fan of the Lipton onion soup mix and stuff.
hmm
Putting it in a roast,
Oh
rice.
yes, yes. So
Hmm.
good. Yeah, it works in bread dough too. So, yeah.
Yeah. Did you start your starter or did you get a starter from another person?
Yes. I tried to start my starter several times.
Okay.
And it kept molding and it was very frustrating. Like it would get like that pink mold in it. And so my boss had some sourdough starter and she graciously gave me some and it's been thriving ever since. I think I got it in like 2022, 2023 maybe.
That's amazing.
So she's going strong. She's going strong.
That's amazing.
But this weekend I made pizza dough from my sourdough.
Okay.
And this is the second time I've done it. It's delicious. I use the King Arthur's sourdough pizza dough recipe base,
Okay.
like just to base it off of, but then I tweak it. So I don't buy, you can buy like the King Arthur dough seasoning. I don't do that. I add garlic to it. I
Hmm.
add garlic powder, onion powder, some salt, a
Do you
little
add that
Italian
in it or like
into my
on it?
dough. No,
Oh,
into
okay,
my dough.
okay, okay. See,
Into my dough.
that's
hmm And
extra
so as it's
flavor.
rising, it's like the flavors permeating into the dough.
Wow.
Yes. And
That
it's
sounds
so yummy.
good.
And let me tell you, my husband, he does not like bread because it blocks him up and like it makes his stomach not happy. But my sourdough bread does not do that to him. And my
Well,
sourdough pizza dough does not do that to him.
the sourdough is good for your gut. It's got them
Mm-hmm.
probiotics or
Yes.
something,
Yes, that's right.
right?
It's got
Speak
the good bacteria.
Speaking of which, my parents tried kombucha for the first time today.
What did I think of that?
I think my mom liked it. My dad said it has a flavor. I, of course, can't drink it because of the carbonation. Don't know. My mom likes like Poppy. Do you know an Olipop? Do you know
I've
what that
not
is?
tried it, but I've seen it.
So I think she was thinking like maybe it'll be like that.
I've tried it once, and that's enough. So you're not missing anything, Abby.
I'd rather have a swig of like sauerkraut juice.
Oh no,
You don't like sauerkraut?
I do not like sauerkraut.
Do you like
I don't like, no, I
kimchi?
don't like kimchi. I don't like radish, horseradish, not like horseradish. I don't like horseradish.
Ooh, I like all those things.
No, not a
Like a
fan.
cold, vinegary, spicy, tart kind of thing.
I'm glad you like it.
I'm glad you like cheese.
I love cheese. We all have our vices. A nice piece of cheese after a long hard day just hits the spot.
It's like
And
it's like we reward ourselves like we're hamsters or something.
yeah,
Like, oh, you did good today. Here's your piece of cheese.
here's your
Um,
kimchi.
do your dogs get the cheese tax?
Oh, yeah. So anytime my weenie dog is a foodie, and so anytime I'm in the kitchen, she thinks it's dinner time. And so anytime I'm cutting anything up, I'm like, oh, gotta give an offering to the weenie, like, or I'll have 10 years bad luck.
Brianna had a great idea for the topic for today's What Are We Doing podcast, and I thought it was really good. It's honestly something that wouldn't naturally come to me.
Oh,
So do you?
really?
Yeah, yeah. And so I honestly had kind of a hard time finding a story that really resonated with me
Okay.
because everything just is so superficial. And so I wanted to make sure it was like a really, really good one.
Hmm.
So do you want to kind of intro what we're going to be talking about and then go into your story?
Sure, absolutely. So, our current news media outlets, they focus on bad news, and that can get down and depressing after a while. And so, a couple weeks ago, I heard this really good, uplifting story. It could have ended really bad, but then it didn't. And so, I was like, I'm always wishing we saw more good news. So I was like, why don't we cover some good news stories? So, anyways, and Abby was down for it. So,
Definitely.
yeah, we're gonna do some lighthearted. Well, they all end up good. So, put a
Happy
smile on your
endings.
face, uplift your heart. Good things still happen in this world. And yeah, do you want to add anything, Abby?
No, I think it's a great idea. Like I personally like know how easy it is to get bogged down in all of the news. And we've talked about this before of like I don't think our brains were really supposed to be able to comprehend everything that's happening in the
Right.
world, but since we have it at our fingertips, it just has come with the territory. And so if that's wars or shootings or health things, you name it, like it's really bogs you down and having a reminder of positivity and also just like the will of humans and how strong they are,
Yeah.
um, I think is really remarkable. So I'm excited to hear your story. I didn't know it when you
Oh,
said
okay.
it, so
I didn't know your story either.
oh
So
cool. So I'm excited to learn something.
we're both learning something. Okay, so my story is more current.
Okay,
It happened about a month ago,
cool.
and I think yours is more in the past.
Yes,
But they're both really cool stories.
definitely.
So my story takes place about, we'll say, I think it was about the beginning of February 2026.
Okay.
And it takes place on the West Australia coast. There was a mother named Joanne Appleby. I think I'm saying that's right. Appleby. I guess I'm saying that right. Uh, anyways, so Joanne Appleby was on vacation with her three children at the beach on the coast of West Australia. She's got three kids. One's named Austin, and he's 13. Bo is 12. Grace is 8. And they're doing all of the beachy, vacationy things. They've got a vacation rental on near the beach. They're out in the sun having fun. Side note,
Hmm.
did you know that crocodiles swim in the ocean in Australia?
I did not know that about crocodiles, but I did know that about certain alligators
Yeah.
because I lived in Charleston, South Carolina, where we had brackish water. So,
Yes.
so we would end up with sharks and alligators in the same place.
Area. Yes. Oh my gosh.
That is
Anyways,
freaky to imagine being on
I
the beach and
know.
then seeing
Like,
that of
you
all.
think about like I thought all you had to worry about was sharks
Yeah.
in, Australia and anyways, I'm never getting in the water there. No, I hear it's very beautiful. And they've got great snorkeling and scuba diving.
They have the
But
Great Barrier Reef, right?
yes.
Yeah, reef.
Yes. And I think they have a pink beach. Like a sandy pink
Oh,
beach.
that's
Forgive me if I'm
cool.
wrong. Don't come at me.
Oh, they will.
Yeah, they will.
Those
I might be
Australians.
wrong. The whole time I'm reading about this story and like writing my notes, I'm doing it in an Australian accent
Why
in my
why
head.
aren't you telling the story in an Australian accent?
The people don't need to hear that. They don't need to
Honestly,
hear
my
that.
Kiwi accent is better than my Australian.
Yes.
It's a little
Gotta
bit
love the
easier to
Kiwis.
it's a little easier to do, and I think it's because it sounds a little bit more like a southern accent.
Hmm. And are there really no snakes there? Really?
That's what they say. Same thing about Hawaii. They sent mongooses and killed them all.
Wow. Anyways,
I know Hobbiton is there.
what is that?
It's where the Shire. It's where
Oh,
the
oh,
Lord of
I
the
thought you
Rings
were
was filmed.
talking about I thought you were talking like about a type of snake. Yes, the Shire. Yes.
Yes.
Very beautiful.
So they're having a great like
They're
normal.
having a great vacation without sharks and crocodiles.
Got it.
And they're spending their afternoon paddleboarding, kayaking in the water, when all of a sudden the weather took a turn for the worst. And the wind starts picking up, clouds are rolling in, the waves are getting bigger, and they get swept out to sea on the currents and the wind gust. The waves started becoming choppy, very large, very ominous, and they were unable to make progress back to shore. So at this point, the mother and the three children, with their paddleboard and kayak, are all swept out to sea. They luckily all have on a life jacket.
Okay.
Okay, so they're unable to make progress back to shore, and Joanne, the mother, had to make a decision that no mom should ever have to make. And she decided that their best chance for survival was to send her 13-year-old boy, Austin, to shore for help. She said, I would have never went because I wouldn't have left the kids at sea. So I had to send somebody. I knew he was the strongest and he could do it.
So he is sent out to swim or in the kayak.
So he started back to shore in the family's kayak, leaving his mom and siblings with the paddleboard.
Okay, so they had like a flotation device, kind of
Mm-hmm. So
something to
they're all
bob.
holding on
Okay,
to the paddleboard and he's heading back in the kayak.
got it.
And so he starts paddling back and he said, I knew it would be a long way, but the kayak kept taking on water. He was fighting rough seas. The kayak dumped him out a million times.
Mm.
At one point, he thought he saw something in the water and he really was scared, but he just kept thinking he was going to make it. At one point, the kayak actually flipped him off and he was trapped under it for several minutes.
That's scary.
Yes.
That is claustrophobic.
Yes.
Oh,
And he was able to flip the kayak over. and get back on it. Anyways, after getting flipped off of the kayak several times, he eventually decided he needed to ditch it.
Mm-hmm.
It was taking too long. He wasn't making much progress. It started taking on water, and that sort of thing. So he decided to ditch it and start swimming. 2 hours into his swim, he has to ditch his life jacket because the resistance was slowing him down too much.
2 hours?
2 hours.
How did you say how far the distance was?
Well, I'll get there.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. We'll learn at the end.
Okay, sorry. Jumping ahead.
But he said, I thought this was interesting because I don't know what swimming class they teach this in, but he said, thank God I had just learned a couple weeks before how to take off my life jacket in the water. And I'm like, I didn't know that that's something that was encouraged, but I guess he learned it for this moment because he was not
He
making
had
any
to.
progress. So, but he recalls that the waves were massive and he's worried because he has no life jacket. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess what's running through his mind is, well, if I had the life jacket, I wouldn't be able to progress to shore. So, because it just kept pulling me back. But now that I don't have a life jacket, if I can't make it to shore, I'm going to drown.
What happens then?
Yes. So he said that he recalled about a couple weeks before this happened, he went to a church youth camp, and he said his faith really started growing at that point in time. So he was learning about God, learned how to pray. A pastor taught him the Lord's Prayer. And so he said during the swim, he prayed the Lord's Prayer, talked to Jesus and God. And whenever he said, he recalls that whenever he thought negatively,
Mm-hmm.
he would go further out. So he said, I had to keep positive. I just said, all right, not today, not today, not today. I have to keep going. He said, I was very puffed out, but I couldn't feel how tired I was.
That's so cute.
I know. And he's got such a cute, sweet voice. You should go look at a video of him. Such a sweet boy, I'm sure. He just said he just kept thinking about his mom and his siblings, and he had to keep going.
Yeah.
So, it took him 4 hours to swim to shore. He swam 2.5 miles or 80 laps in an Olympic-sized pool.
Oh my goodness.
This is longer than the swimming leg of an Ironman. And fun fact, a week prior to this, he failed his swim test. Mm-hmm.
I guess he learned.
Yeah. So, and this kid's kind of scrawny. Like, he's tall and lanky.
Yeah.
He's a 13-year-old boy. So he's not like a massive 13-year-old boy, super muscular or anything. No, he's just your average. He doesn't have a lot of fat on him to keep him buoyant. You know what I mean? When his swim came to an end, right before it, he just said, I just kept thinking like the little engine that could just keep swimming. I think I can. I think I can. And then when he finally made it to shore, he hit the bottom of the beach and he collapsed.
Of course.
He said, when I hit the floor, I thought, how am I on land right now? Is this a dream?
Oh,
I mean, can you imagine just swimming in these massive 6+ feet waves for 4 hours
I
with
can't
no end in sight?
imagine swimming in a kiddie pool in my front yard.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, I'm sure you just kind of check out and you're in autopilot and you're just,
The
and then all of a
adrenaline.
sudden, he's there and he made it to shore.
Cannot
It wasn't
imagine.
over yet, though. After he reached shore, he could not give up because he had to run 1 mile to get back to where his family was staying to reach his mother's cell phone to call for help.
So there was no one else around?
Mm-mm. Not in the area he was in.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. So he had to run, and he said he sprinted 1 mile. And walking in the sand is hard.
Yeah.
Running in the sand is even harder. And he's already exhausted from swimming.
For 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours plus, I don't know how long they were out doing beachy things before that. You know what I
Right.
mean? So this kid, could have potentially been active for awake and doing stuff for 10, 12 hours at this point. We don't know. So he runs 1 mile to get back to the place to call for help. He said he made the call. He said, I need helicopters, I need planes, I need boats. My family's out at sea. And he says, I was very calm about it.
Not me.
Yeah. Meanwhile, going back to his family on the paddleboard out at sea,
Uh-huh.
while his mom and two siblings waited for hours and hours after Austin left, she said that they kept positive. They tried to do this by singing, joking. She said that she was trying to treat it as a bit of a game
Hmm.
until the sun started going down. And that's when it started getting even choppier and the waves were even bigger. And she said, as the sun went down, I thought, something's gone terribly wrong here. And my fear was that Austin didn't make it.
Mm.
Once it got darker, she started to think, no way, no one's coming for them. They were all so cold, and Bo, the 12-year-old brother that was still out there with them, his legs lost feeling altogether.
Mm.
And she said a prayer, and she was fearing for the worst. So, I mean, I can't imagine being in the water that long. Plus, the ocean is cold, just in general.
Yeah, and the salt water will dehydrate you like
Yes. Yeah,
so fast.
exactly. So while they're still waiting, now this is back, I'm going to jump back to Austin.
Okay.
So after he placed the emergency call, he went back out onto the beach. And there were he said there were some nice ladies, and they gave him some of their food. And then he lost consciousness from exhaustion.
Oh, I bet.
Yes.
I'm
He
surprised he got that
later,
far.
yeah, exactly. He later up in the hospital and he was thinking that his family was dead. He
Hmm.
felt so guilty, thinking that he wasn't fast enough, he didn't try hard enough, all of those things. 2.5 hours from the time Austin made his call, his family was found by rescuers. So it was dark at that point. So they're using, and I saw the video of it,
Hmm.
and it's not good footage. Like, I don't know how they were able to tell that there were people there versus like it just being a white cap. But
So was it like those big, I don't know, like spotlights that
I don't know. There
shine?
were helicopters, so yeah, potentially that's what they used to find them. But so 2.5 hours later, they're found. The family clung to the paddleboard for 10 hours. They all had on their life jackets and they drifted 8.7 miles from shore.
That part is crazy to me. And it's honestly crazy to me there weren't other people around that saw it happen
Yeah.
or
Well,
other people that got tossed out in the storm.
yeah, exactly. And I wonder if, you can get like these Airbnbs and stuff that are kind of on more private areas.
Hmm.
So potentially that's what happened. I don't know. But yeah. So afterwards, Austin was given crutches due to exhaustion of his body. Stress that he went through was equal to 2 marathons.
Wow.
Yeah, back to back. And then Joanne, Bo, and Grace were treated for swollen legs, blisters, bruises, and a rash, just from the repeated contact with the paddleboard.
Yeah.
So they all came out with minor injuries. Austin has been given hero status, but he refuses it. He says, I didn't think I was a hero. I just did what I did. And his little brother, Bo, said he couldn't be any prouder to be Austin's little brother.
Oh.
I know. And then Austin said, after this, I'm trying my best to go to church every week. He's hoping to get baptized soon, but some people joke with him saying that he's already been baptized. The ocean took care of
That's
that.
exactly what I was thinking.
Yes. And yeah, so
If it's not made into a movie,
I
what are we
know.
doing?
What are we doing? Let's make that into a movie.
Do you remember the movie Soul Surfer?
Oh, yes, I was obsessed. I still follow her.
Hmm. Bethany Hamilton.
Yes. And then I was like terrified to go in the water. But I also wanted to become a surfer.
I can see it.
Yeah. I caught one good wave in my life.
You have?
Yes, on a boogie board. So in when my grandparents lived in San Diego, we would go out to the ocean and it's cold. And I went for my senior trip with my friend Emily. Hi, if you're listening. She listened to one of our episodes, I know that. But, anyways, we're out in the Pacific Ocean and the waves were massive in my mind. And everyone's out there with like their boogie boards and little surfboards and things. And so we're going with it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I catch this wave. And you know how you hear surfers talk about the wave? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Brianna on her boogie board. I get perfectly on top of this wave. And I mean, it's a big wave, and it took me all the way to shore, and I just rode the top of it. But it was hilarious because I remember the same wave. I looked down, and my friend did not get on top of it. And she
Uh-huh.
just, and that
That's
was my moment.
amazing. I wish there was a picture.
Yeah. There. Oh, I have a picture of me with the boogie board. It was great.
Well, thank you for that story, Brianna. It was so good and had a happy ending. It was cute. He was brave and heroic, like all boys should be, and relied on God during that time, which I think is
Yeah.
amazing. So, like you said earlier, my story is 25 years old. It's not that there aren't good stories happening right now, but I just kept like I literally was reading all different articles within the past like year and just couldn't find anything that felt, I don't know, as poignant as the story I'm going to tell. I'm going to talk about what happened in Gander, Newfoundland on September 11th, 2001. So, summary of what happened. So, the terrorist attacks on September 11th, the United States completely closed its airspace. So, there was no one coming in, no one going. But you have to remember there were thousands of planes in the air at like when 9/11 happened. So the ones that were coming from the east, yeah, the east, coming from Europe and Africa were over the Atlantic. Like, what do we do, right?
Right.
So hundreds of flights coming from that direction ended up being diverted to Newfoundland, which is I think it's technically an island in the kind of northeast corner of Canada, and it's very isolated and it doesn't have a huge population, but at one time it had the biggest international airport in the world
Wow.
because of its place in the hemisphere. So basically, like transatlantic travel wasn't super common and the planes were not built to hold enough fuel. So it was sort of this in between way station that people would come to during, you know, probably before the 80s, I want to say.
Okay.
And so it used to have this massive airport. So this operation eventually was called Operation Yellow Ribbon. So the small town of Gander, in a matter of hours, received 38 wide-bodied aircraft carrying about 600 or 6,700 passengers and crew,
Oh my wow.
which is more than the population of the town.
Wow.
And so these were all just people, you name it, for whatever reason, were coming toward the United States. So for several days, I think one of the longest was like 5 days, but they were able to eventually kind of systematically get clearance to send them back to where they were supposed to be landing in the first place. The town sort of found out about it before the plane started landing and went, we can do it, we can handle it.
Wow.
So schools, churches, uh, dog shelters, people's homes were all opened up for these almost 7,000 extra people to come and stay.
Wow.
And it just turned into this whole, I don't know how to exactly explain it, like a summer camp
Okay, yeah.
in
A big sleepover
a
party.
big sleepover. And of course, there were so many logistics that had
Right.
to go into it. But there was also this kind of our continent was act, and we don't know what's next. We know we do have to survive these next few days.
Hmm.
And so, also, what's really scary is a lot of the pilots that were getting told these, like, they're in the air, they're fine. They're like, um, one pilot, she was going from Paris to Dallas, totally fine, very confident, had done this route thousands of times probably. And air traffic control comes over and is like, there's been a terrorist action in the United States. You need to make an emergency landing. Here's your coordinates. And they didn't know what had happened. They didn't. They
Right.
didn't know that it was planes. So
Hmm.
they didn't know necessarily where it happened. And then suddenly, when people started finding out it was planes, the people on the planes were looking at everyone around them going, "Are you going to do it to us too?"
Yeah.
So there was all these different cultures coming together, different languages. Not everybody spoke English or French
Right.
or whatever. There were just like security measures that they had to figure out and probably kind of ignore some of they would normally do with people landing suddenly in a
Yeah.
town. They just had to kind of trust people. Yeah, there were people um, that had medicine that they needed. So they were having to figure out pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
There was, I think, two monkeys that were in the like in transport. I don't know if they were getting transported to a zoo or whatever. They
Yeah.
were in the like belly of the plane. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah.
So like the vet people had to come out and go, what is a monkey doing in Gander, Newfoundland? Like,
Yeah.
how do we care for these monkeys? Like, what do like
Yeah.
a whole slew of other animals. They set up like phone trees, and there were still payphones and stuff in
Hmm.
2001, so they were able to get that, but like not all of them had international calling. So they were, their phone companies
Oh
and
my
all
gosh.
that were trying to figure out like, do we need satellite phones? And so they would like get people scheduled to be able to call their families because
Yeah.
people that, were waiting for them back home did not know, are they hijacked, crashed over the Atlantic? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Where are they?
where are they? There are several people that met as like a meet cute and ended up getting
Oh.
married.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were international, so they had to figure out what to do.
Oh my goodness.
Um, this one really got me. And like, okay, we've all been on the tarmac in a plane, waiting for it to take off, and this, that, or the other thing is making it delayed. It could
Yeah.
be just a lot of traffic. It could be some maintenance thing they're doing on the plane. We're waiting on a different passenger. I've been on a flight where the pilot timed out, and so they had to like switch it over.
What
It's
poor planning.
yeah,
You couldn't have figured that out beforehand.
you would think weather, you name it. These poor people. There were some people that were on the tarmac in their planes. There were some people on the tarmac in their planes from 12 to 24 hours.
Oh my gosh.
They weren't allowed to get
No.
off
No.
because the security had to screen as many people as they could. So they had the alcohol flowing.
Were they really?
Mhm.
They were like, we're gonna
They're
make the
like,
best of
we
this.
gotta do something. But imagine it, babies, elderly people, anyone that would be traveling were on these planes and needed a place to stay. They needed food.
Yeah.
they needed to not panic and like cause mania in this small town. And
Right.
so a big thing that they did was recreation things. So they set up, you know, pool halls, and they had bars and singing things, and I think they maybe even danced a little, I'm not sure. But it was almost imagine like a post-apocalyptic movie or TV show where everyone is just doing what they have to survive. It's like the most positive version of that you can imagine.
Yeah, that's amazing. I wonder how many people met as friends, like, and are still friends, or how many
Well,
people went there and never left.
I don't know if there's so many people that went there and like moved there, but they
Yeah.
do have reunions every so often.
Oh.
And one of these reunions, some people were kind of, it may have been the 10-year reunion. I think. Um, they, as many people as wanted, came to Gander. I think they even have a piece of the steel from the World Trade Center because of how impactful they were to the day of 9/11. And some people were making a documentary about it. So they were just recording, doing little interviews, recording the people seeing each other again, and that sort of thing. Well, some other people that were also from Canada were there witnessing it, and they
Mhm.
ultimately made a Broadway musical all about this story called Come From Away. And some of the characters are kind of amalgamations because you can't make 6,700 people,
Yeah.
suddenly on a Broadway play. But so like multiple actors play multiple characters, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I I've not seen it live, but I have watched it on Apple TV, and it is beautiful.
Oh.
It's got like fun jaunty type songs. It's got kind of sea shanty because that's very much of the culture there in Gander. And it's got big ballads that like make you want to cry.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful story of people coming together, not just for the greater good, but like putting aside their own creature comforts. I mean, they were having
Yes.
strangers in their home. They were literally giving their clothes off their backs to these strangers.
Yeah.
Also in a
And just
time,
trusting.
exactly, in a
My
time
gosh.
where you did not know who to trust, if you could
Yeah.
trust. And it was really frightening for a lot of the people, especially the passengers, like as the news started rolling out more and more that it wasn't an accident, it wasn't a bomb, it was people that used a plane, it was a premeditated terrorist attack, and that it didn't just happen in New York, but it happened in Pennsylvania and DC. Like, I cannot imagine how scary and freaky it would be. And like I used the word apocalyptic earlier, like imagine thinking, what if I could never go home?
Yeah. How long am I going to be here?
So then you're like, well, I think this is probably human nature too. Like I got to make the best of it. Like
Hmm.
I've got to learn how to be helpful. And so the passengers started caring for one another, and were able to one woman, um her son was a firefighter that got killed in New York,
Mm.
and she was a passenger. We're the ones comforting each other. I mean, like I am very not a stranger person, and I can't imagine having to rely on strangers for just like normal things, but to go through something so emotional, so heightened, so scary, and you're like, I guess these are my people now. It's like tangible experience of something bad happened to us, and the only way we're gonna make it is together. We hope you enjoyed this episode, felt like it uplifted you a little bit and you learned something.
Share your good stories.
Yes, because we need them. Bring them on.
Yes.
And we hope that you stay blessed.
And highly medicated.